Welcome to Athletes Unlimited Pro Softball presented by Nike. We have made it to championship weekend, the final week 5 in AU softball. We're already making history, folks. Tonight, 2 for the price of 1 from Parkway Bank Sports Complex at Twin Bill, starting with a doozy. We will have Team Ocasio squaring off against Team Corrick. Well, in total, 61 of the best softball players in the world playing for 5 consecutive weeks to determine 1 champion and 4 total medalists. As we lift the lid on week 5, here's your top 10. It's Amanda Lorenz, the top dog. After that, though, folks, it's tighter than a tick. Everything else is really up for grabs. Can Amanda Lorenz hold on? And who will finish in the top 4? That's what we're playing for over the next couple of days. Doubleheaders tonight, Saturday, and on Sunday. So glad you found us with my partner, former Olympian gold medalist Natasha Watley. I am Eric Collins. The big story last week with Athletes Unlimited was the domination of Team Lorenz. They were sensational. But with Athletes Unlimited, Natasha, nothing stays the same. It's week 5, and that team's been broken up.
Yeah, well, we have a spicy matchup tonight. Last week, who were teammates, Team Ocasio and Georgina Corrick, and this week, coming into this week, they face off against each other. They are able to be captains this weekend, and it's going to be awesome to see who gets the W tonight.
Yeah, Alicia Ocasio just came out of nowhere. Of course, she's been a champion in years past, but she had a fantastic week 4, and she is a captain for the first time this year. Gets a chance to fill out a lineup card. Team Ocasio starts with Skyler Wallace. The rookie has been great. Leads all rookies in AU in hits and total bases. Anissa Urtez follows her in the lineup. Bubba Nichols, champion of AUX out in June. Delaney Wiz, Gwen Svekis, Erica Piancastelli, Jordan Roberts is the DP with Nadia Taylor and Aaliyah Andrews rounding out the 9. Team Ocasio will bat against Georgina Corrick, Natasha, who was electric last week.
Yeah, she has been on fire. She has been getting better as the season has gone, and talking to her in week 1 and just going and doing her homework and just building off of it each week and getting better and just really honing in on her placement and being able to have good control of pitches.
We're underway. Our first pitch here in week 5 is a called strike 1 to Skyler Wallace. Wallace, Urtez, and Nichols. Wallace begins her final week, 6th out of 61 players on the leaderboard. Batting average of .342 with 13 hits and 38 at-bats. Pro game has not phased her one bit. Our second game will feature Team Lorenz against Team Kilfoyle. How about Amanda Lorenz? Man, her team's played 21 innings a week ago and won 20 out of the 21 innings. Georgina Corrick was a big part of that, and that's how she skyrocketed up into the 2nd spot on the leaderboard. And she starts this one off with a bang, striking out Wallace for out number 1.
Just going back and talking about Georgina Corrick, how she has just been in complete control and just been cruising. I mean, just her placement with her changeup, she's been able to locate that pitch on command and picks up her first strikeout of the day.
Here's the veteran, Anissa Urtez. Urtez starts with a called strike 1. Urtez has been her normal, steady self. 8 hits and 36 at-bats, 35th on the leaderboard. Smashed foul. Ball and 2 strikes. Now Corrick, wow. Every team she's been on has won. 8 consecutive games she's won. Popped up, it's going to be playable for someone. First baseman, Allie Skaggs makes the play.
And what makes Corrick so good, we talked about her precision and her placement. It's her off speed. As a hitter, if I know I'm facing Corrick, I am not sitting comfortable in the box, just knowing that I have to pick up speed, pick up spin, pick up her movement, and just her precision has been on point all season long.
8 pitches into the game, 2 outs recorded by Corrick. That's one thing that she's been this year, super efficient. Not only getting outs, but getting outs quickly and enabling her to go deep into games. Here's Bubba Nichols. Things haven't gone the way for Bubba the way they did back in June out in Wichita for AUX when she was the champion. She's had a good season, but hadn't been a part of enough wins to get the points needed to move up the leaderboard. A 1-2-3 first inning tossed by Georgina Corrick. Team Corrick heading to the bet rack. Standard issue first inning for Georgina Corrick. Minimum amount of pitches, gets 3 quick outs, and now her team will bat. Let's take a look at the lineup card filled out by Georgina Corrick. She starts with Haley McClenny, playing her final weekend of pro softball. McClenny has been everything in the game of softball for the last decade and a half. It's going to be an emotional weekend for her. Aubrey Leach follows in the lineup. And then a couple of Palacio sisters, Charlize, the rookie, and Sachelle, the veteran. Sam Fisher, Megan Wiggins, Allie Skaggs will be the first baseman. Morgan Zirkle out in left field. And Sis Bates bats 9th. There's Alicia Ocasio and what she's all about. Won a national championship at Florida and won an AU championship back in 2021.
Yeah, and I feel like we're finally getting to see the Alicia Ocasio that we're familiar with. We kind of talked off camera, Eric, but just seeing her come through injury and now just being comfortable and coming back to being in her own, and she's looking really, really sharp.
Ocasio begins the final weekend 3rd on the leaderboard. She was the champion in 2021. She can be a two-way player. She's the captain. She can put herself in the lineup if she wants at the course of this weekend and bat for herself, which is something that we will be on the lookout for. First 2 pitches to Haley McClenny, both called strikes.
I know both you and I were both shocked to see that Alicia Ocasio didn't put herself in the lineup to hit, and going in the last week, and you want to give yourself as many options to score those points, so offensively and defensively. But I like her decision. It's like, hey, I want to focus on the ball, give me the ball, and let me get it done on the mound.
Ocasio has always been elite as a defender. Beautiful changeup. On 4 pitches, she strikes out McClenny.
And Ocasio and Corrick are so similar. I love this matchup today. A lot of off-speed pitches that we'll be seeing today, and she gets a Haley McClenny swinging on that off-speed down and in.
Next in line, Aubrey Leach. Off-speed, called strike 1. If Leach has a productive final weekend, she could hit 400 for the year. Begins play hitting .368, 14 hits and 38 at bats. An announcement with Aubrey Leach as the season comes to an end. She's still going to be in the softball world. Lines it to the shortstop, Anissa Urtez, out number 2. Congratulations to Aubrey Leach. She's going to go back to her alma mater, which is a place that she's very comfortable with. She's been a graduate assistant over the last couple of years. Just took a job, player development. Director of player development at Tennessee. That was just announced on Wednesday. So congratulations to Aubrey Leach. Here's Charlize Palacios. Back to that, Palacios is batting here. Massive story all summer long has been both Palacios is playing with each other. Sachelle has been a captain for the last couple of weeks. She's not this week, but she is playing her final weekend, and she's getting a chance to play with her sister, Charlize.
Yeah, just think about what a beautiful moment that they get to share this last memory and moments playing together on the same team. And it's been fun to watch them these last 5 weeks, playing against each other the first couple of weeks and then ending playing with each other.
There's Sachelle. There's Charlize. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Charlize has 3 home runs. That is tops here in AU this August. Right back to the screen. Healthy cut. We'll do it again. 2-2. Sprayed foul right side.
And I like these swings from Charlize. I mean, she's swinging aggressive. She was swinging early in the count. But you can see that she's seeing it big. She's letting the ball travel, letting it get deep. And anytime anybody's fouling hard right side, that means that you are letting it travel, getting deep, and you're tracking it a long time.
So Ocasio breezing past McClenny and Leach, but now having a hard time with Charlize Palacio. This is the 8th pitch, and we'll see a 9th pitch as well. As impressive as Charlize Palacios has been, she just hadn't been a part of enough winning innings and winning games so far through the first 4 weeks. Finds herself right in the middle of the pack on the leaderboard. She is 30th out of 61 players. But boy, she's been impressive. Three and 2.
I would change eye levels here. I would go with the rise ball. I would go up in the zone.
Change up. Bounced foul.
And I say that because she's seeing both speeds well. So Ocasio's mixing side to side, but she's mixing speeds. You see Charlize, she fouls off right side. She fouls off left side. So she's picking up the speed. So you got to change eye levels right now.
On the ground. Delaney whiz across the diamond side is retired. A 1-2-3, bottom of the first inning. To the second we go here in Rosemont. Athletes Unlimited Pro Softball is sponsored by Nike. Welcome back, everyone. A lot of really fun things over the years with Athletes Unlimited Softball, but you will never convince me that there's anything better with Athletes Unlimited in any sport than Jade Hewitt. She has been the photographer for the Athletes Unlimited for years, and I'm telling you, there's not a shot that she can't get.
Yeah, I back you on that. Jade Hewitt is probably the hardest working photographer in the biz, and the shots that she captures moments, and so I love that you gave her a shout out.
Big fan. Second inning, Georgina Court back in the circle. Only needed 11 pitches to get through the first. 11 pitches, 8 of them strikes. She starts Delaney Wiz with ball 1. Wiz, Svekis, Piancastelli. 3 right-handed batters against Korik here in the second inning. Delaney Wiz has been with Athletes Unlimited the last couple of years. Former UCLA Bruin. There's been some good UCLA Bruin third basemen over the years.
Yeah.
Andrea Duran. Fernandez played third, right, before when she didn't pitch?
Yep. Fernandez, Wiz, Julie Burney.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. Naming some vintage ones.
I don't need to go much deeper than Andrea Duran, folks. She was nails. There wasn't a runner that she didn't drive in. It was important. She was a great run producer. 2 outs, runner on at second. Bam, she's getting a hit. Delaney Wiz. Wiz is that one foul. Wiz on the year, currently in the top 10. She's 9th out of 61 players on the leaderboard. 10 hits and 36 at bats. Natasha, when she hits her back leg, when she steps into the batter's box, what do you read into that? What's she thinking and what's she doing with that?
I take it as a, like, let's go. You got this. I love when she does that. It kind of pumps me up when I watch her. It kind of is like a reset, and here we go. Let's get it.
Uh-oh. Georgina Corrick strikes her out. Second consecutive inning that Corrick has struck out the leadoff batter. Let's check in with Savannah Collins.
Well, stepping into this captain's role for the first time, Georgina Corrick says she's been teetering between excitement and anxiety. She says they're kind of two sides to the same coin, so she wanted to fill her team with people that brought out the excitement side. She said, even though I'm really talkative off field, she said I'm not really loud on field. So there were some things that she wanted to do to set up how her team was run. She was going to rely on Caroline Hardy, her facilitators for entries and subs. Culture is split amongst this group, and her culture was built around stories. She's a captain after my own heart. She said, I wanted to look at what are the biggest stories of this season and how do I bring those people to my team. Charlize and Sachelle was the one that stood out. Sam, Halo, and Peyton St. George stepping in for their very last weekend of softball. She felt like stories are what is going to bring out the best in each other, and it's what helped guide her in putting her roster together.
I love it. Thank you, Savannah.
Yeah, that's good stuff, Savannah. I mean, just talk about the storylines. I mean, she's just trying to set us up as broadcasters, and, you know, she's got her analyst mind. But, I mean, just the Palacios, the sister tandem, McClinney. I mean, we can't talk about McClinney enough. And Peyton St. George. I mean, just
Gwen
such incredible.
Svekis in the batter's box right now.
With Svekis, who's also going to retire this season. Just a lot of big names that have been so impactful over the last few years to our game. And so kind of a bittersweet day to see them go out.
Oh, we still got a full weekend. Well, after cruising through the first inning, Cork only needing 11 pitches to retire Wallace, Ortez, and Nichols, she's gone to a full count against Delaney Wiz, and now a full count against Gwen Svekis. That's a great at-bat. That's a pro right there. Gwen Svekis, the first base runner of the game, a one-out walk. We keep track of everything with Athletes Unlimited. Walks are worth 10 points, so a plus 10 for Gwen Svekis. Now that leaderboard, upper left-hand portion of your screen, is going to be super important all weekend long. We'll be updating it as the games progress. Amanda Lorenz will see her and Team Lorenz take on Team Kilfoyle in our second game today. Amanda trying to be the second former Florida Gator to win an AU championship. Alicia Ocasio won the 2021 AU championship season. Here's Erica Biancastelli. Two balls and a strike to Biancastelli. Erica has been stuck on 17 home runs for a while. 17 lifetime home runs in Athletes Unlimited history. This is now her 5th AU season.
She actually got that 17th home run off of Corrick in week 2. And so this matchup will be interesting. And her and Palacios had back-to-back home runs in week 2, and that's when she got that 17 career home runs.
Oh my goodness, that just weakened the knees. 3 balls and 2 strikes, so 3 consecutive batters have gone to a full count.
Just the placement on this. On the outside corner, just changing speeds. Even when you know it's coming as a hitter, it is just debilitating trying to time it up.
Popped up, easy play for the left fielder, Zirkle. 2 down. That's the first ball that's made it to the outfield against Corrick. Okay, here's Jordan Roberts. I've got a feeling about Jordan Roberts. Alicia Ocasio and Jordan go way back to their days in Gainesville playing for Tim Walton. They know each other well. They're good friends. They both respect each other's ability. They've both been here with Athletes Unlimited for a long time. And I think there's a reason why Ocasio chose to put Roberts in the DP spot.
Absolutely, and it's all about knowing your personnel and knowing what your teammates are capable of and just trusting and knowing what she's got. And so I love that pick.
enormous power with Jordan Roberts. She's got a homer so far this season. In her career, she has 10 career Athletes Unlimited homers. Ball and 2 strikes. Svekis on at first. Tried to entice, no swing. So 4 consecutive batters here in the second inning have gone to a full count. That's living life on the edge. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There goes Svekis, and she'll have to go back to first. So Gwen's getting her sprints in at first base.
Getting her workout over at first base. 3-2 count.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. No reason to drop anchor at first. Got to be off with every pitch. We'll do it again. Swing and a miss. A changeup, thing of beauty. And Roberts strikes out. So Cork, unusual for her, she goes to a full count on 4 straight batters, but no damage done. She strikes out a pair.
Yep, she gets the strikeout of the day on that beautiful changeup.
Well, we're starting to fill up the book of Unlimited. We've already had 4 champions in Athletes Unlimited history. The very first one, the great Kath Osterman. Alicia Ocasio won it in 2021. First true position player, Deja Mulipola in 2022, was an everyday catcher back then. And last year, how about Odyssey Alexander? Not only a great pitcher, but the way that she was able to maneuver games as a captain for 3 consecutive weeks was just amazing. She was fantastic a year ago, Odyssey Alexander.
Yeah, she was breezing through last season, and she played free. She talks about how she just felt so free on the mound, and just being able to watch her just dominate on the mound last season was a thing to watch, and it was fun to see her finish on top.
Here's Sachel Palacios. First time in a couple of weeks that she is not a captain. Finished just outside the top 4. Sachel coming into this week with 1,284 points, 8 points behind Lexi Kilfoyle. And that goes right in between the legs of Nadia Taylor. So the first base runner for Team Cork.
I mean, just take a look at this ball. This ball was roped. And Nadia Taylor is facing the sun, so that could have been a hard ball to read, but just got to get down and sit on it.
Well, Sachel's given a base hit. So a base hit is a +10. That's what the official score says. That becomes significant for Alicia Ocasio because that's a real base hit, not an error. Right. If Palacios comes around to score, that's an earned run against Ocasio. Earned runs against pitchers are -10.
Yeah, and if I'm Ocasio, I'm not feeling that one. And I would say Nadia Taylor probably would agree that she should have that ball.
Well, Sachel's happy. She can use the 10 points.
She's like, I'll use the points. I'll take it. I'll take it.
And with that 10 points, she now has leapfrogged over Lexi Kilfoyle, and she's currently in 4th place on the leaderboard. Now, a lot to be played for, but that's what he'll do for you. Could be 2 to second for 1 on the first. Double play! 5-4-3 on the twin kill.
And that's the way you answer back after that last play. Delaney Wiz, fire me up. A little Delaney Wiz to Wallace to Taylor. Double play.
That was a wonderful throw by Skyler Wallace on that turn. Super quick with a strong toss over to first base. And I don't know if this is being challenged, but we do have a timeout as Alicia Ocasio has gone to the first base dugout. This may just be a, I don't think this is being challenged.
No, it looks like she's getting her finger taped up.
Oh.
Just a little banged up.
Well, she's a right-handed pitcher, and she's got an issue with a finger on her right hand. How many options do you have? Are you allowed to put a Band-Aid if you're a pitcher? Wouldn't that be a foreign substance?
You should be able to put a Band-Aid on your first finger, middle finger.
Okay.
You should be able to.
Well, I don't know if she's got a Band-Aid or what it was, but yeah, if you've got a problem with your finger, that's your moneymaker.
But I'm noticing the nails. I don't know if you see the nail flare, but I just never, I mean, I was a shortstop, but I see a lot of pitchers throwing with actual acrylics and nails. I love it. I love it for the swag and the flair, but I'm like, oh man, how you doing that?
Looper into center field. That'll get down. The veteran Megan Wiggins gets herself a base hit. And now that double play looms large. So Wiggins aboard at first. It's the final weekend. You got to let it all hang out. I wouldn't be stunned if Megan Wiggins decides to try and steal the base.
Absolutely. I'm like, this is the time to go for it. Got 2 outs.
That's one thing we haven't seen as much of this year as we have in years past. There hasn't been as much friskiness on the bases.
Yeah. Sis Bates is leading in stolen bases, 4 or 5. And I mean, if I'm playing, I'm taking complete advantage, like just go for it and try. But the only miss thing about that is if you get out, it's at -10. So yeah, maybe that might have you think 2 times about it.
Megan has not attempted a steal on the year, but it wasn't that long ago when she was a force running the bases. She was one of the first great pro players to combine power and speed.
Absolutely. And just defending Megan Wiggins as a shortstop, I mean, she hits a hard ground ball to you. I mean, she's booking it down the line, and you've still got to get rid of it. You think that it's hit to you hard, you still got time, but man, she can move down the line. She's got some great speed.
Allie Skaggs is the batter. 2 outs, runner on at first. 3-2. Inning began, base hit by Palacios, erased on the double play ball, hit by Sam Fisher, single by Wiggins. Now a 3-2 pitch. Changeup hit into center field. That's where fly balls go to die. Aaliyah Andrews makes the play, side retired. Alicia Ocasio cruising through 2. Scoreless game through the first 2 innings. Team Ocasio, Team Corrick. We're going to play at the top of the 3rd inning. Expect to see Nadia Taylor, Aaliyah Andrews, and Skyler Wallace batting against Georgina Corrick. And wow, look at that. We just saw a nice pick by Sis Bates, former defensive player of the year here with Athletes Unlimited. She is a brilliant defender, and she's got a microphone, and she can hear us. We're going to talk to her this half inning as she plays defense next to the great Sam Fisher on the left side of the infield.
Yeah, that's my tush.
Sis, what's going on?
Hi, you guys. How are you?
Hey, it must be pretty cool. So you give a hug to Sam Fisher. This is her final weekend. You get a chance to play with her as she heads off into the sunset.
Yeah, pretty incredible. Super thankful to be with her, Sash, all my friends, Halo, and then another friend that might be Irish goodbying, maybe.
Uh-oh.
I know.
You can't tell the secrets?
No, keep it. Secrets are safe with sister.
Hey, sis.
Yeah, George!
We said hello to you a moment ago. You found out Natasha Watley's here in the booth. You got super excited.
Yeah.
What's the reaction? What does Natasha Watley mean to you in your young career?
Yeah, I've looked up to Tosh my whole career. She was actually my coach on the junior national team, and it was like pretty surreal, and now I get to call her a friend, so how stinking awesome. I feel super grateful. I'm obsessed with her. I love her so much.
Well, the feeling is mutual. You know how I feel about you. I
My
love
girl.
watching you play defense. I can watch you play defense all day long.
It is.
So tell me, who's been the hardest person to defend here?
Man, I feel like I have 2 of the ones that I hate to play defense against as a shortstop, Zerk and Aubrey, because I never know what they're going to do. And they're so fast with their hands. It's like, dude, are you bunting? Are you swinging? What's happening? in that little, tiny little body of yours, Aubrey.
So what's your trick? So where do you usually play them? Will you try to play them more shallow, give them a little bit more room, or give them a step?
Yeah, it depends on the situation. I feel like Aubrey plays the game really well, and she will work off of me. So depending on what we want, oh, go get it! Got it! Ooh! Depending on what we want and what she wants, she will see me back, and then I see her feet moving. I'm like, no, Aubrey, you stop that. So kind of a cat and mouse with Aub for sure.
So like, will you ever try to bait her? Will you ever try to like, you know,
yeah,
deke her out, start one place, and then kind of move on the pitch?
Sometimes. Don't tell her though, okay?
So sneaky.
I know, sneaky sis. Stand, Aubrey! Ooh. Got you! You're good.
The veteran Nadia Taylor gets herself a base hit. That's the first time that Team Ocasio has led off an inning with a single.
Yeah, let's talk about it really quick. Do we want to be one?
Since we had a chance to listen into your conversation with all your infield and with Georgina.
Yes.
Are you kind of in charge of what you want to do defensively, or how do you guys make decisions of where you're going to be and what you're going to cover?
Fine. Kind of. Ooh, get her. See ya! We make those decisions together for sure. Right now we know they're going to want to move her, but we also have to play. Lee is super sneaky, and she will get a little bunt slap situation. So we got to play it all. Yep. Good. Kind of working off of George, though, how the pitchers feel coming off the mound, and George is super athletic, so something we feel comfortable with for sure. Yep.
So even the situation right now, are you no matter what just playing Andrews, not covering on a steal?
Yeah, Aubrey will have me on a steal, so Skaggs will stay back no matter what. So now we have 2 strikes, so now we're good. I'll be in the 5-6 playing the slap. Hopefully we can get a lead out with Aubrey, but before it was Aubrey was going to cover second no matter what. So if they stole, Aub was going to get that sucker. Yeah, George, here we go, baby. Yeah. Dang it. Get her, get her! Tag! Got her, yes! Woo! You're good. No, you're good.
Muffley out at third.
Yes!
Andrews into second with 1 out. What a heck of a throw by Haley McClenny out in center field to get the first out of the inning.
Just a clutch play on that to stay with that. And Sis just made a great effort on that play to try to dive it and knock it down. But Haley McClenny, if you take a look at her, just stays with this play and sees Muffley continuing to go. And that's a great play. That's a big out right there.
Yeah. That was great. Here we go, George. Yeah, baby. Yes, good. And Aaliyah is indeed my best friend, so I did tell her good job.
We heard you on the mic.
I just love her so much. Don't tell anyone, kid. Yeah, George, here you go. Yeah, Sam.
Okay, I'm going to get in your offensive mind. I know you're playing defense, but let's talk about hitting. You've been doing a tremendous job at the plate. I mean, just
Thanks, Tosh.
Talk about your adjustments from week 1 to now.
Yeah, I mean, in the off season, I was really focusing on one. Oh, shoot. Got her, yes. I'm here. Don't do it. What do you think? Back to you in a second, Tosh. We're gonna talk about.
Oh, I love Sis. It's cracking me up.
There's been so much activity
There's a lot of
this inning here in the
action.
infield. They're going to score that an infield base hit for Skyler Wallace. So you get runners on at first and at third with 1 out. This is a golden opportunity for Team Ocasio.
Yeah, but I love that we had Sis mic'd up on this play. I mean, I definitely think that Skyler Wallace is safe on this play, but you can see her shift and communicate to her team that she's going to go and cover second on that after Wallace was safe. And so as a shortstop on that play with a runner on second, Sis is going to third. Nobody's covering second base, and so you can hear her communicating and talking. And so I love that we got that audio of her telling her teammates that she's at second.
Anissa Urtez rifles one foul third base side.
We're going to school up here.
Guys.
on all your communication. But no, okay, I want you to
Wallace is going to steal right now. I just looked her in the eyeballs and I see it in her eyes. I got her. Okay. Anyways, yeah. I worked really hard in the off season to get comfortable with my swing and not automatically resort to my slap. Yes!
That's a fair ball.
One. No,
That's the second out of the inning.
No, I can do this fair. Hey, don't do that again. What was that? All right. George, good job, baby. Good job.
So offensively, you worked on trying to work more swinging away, not always going to the slap.
Yeah, I feel like earlier in my career, when I would get a little uncomfortable, I would automatically resort to a slap if the game called for it or not. Yeah, but man, in the offseason, I was just working really hard to get comfortable with my swing, feel some adjustments, and find ways to just outcompete people. And man, I feel really good about it. I'm really proud of how I trained to be ready for this season.
Yeah, the hard work is paying off. It's showing, and I love how you've been expanding your game, reinventing yourself. I think that's great for a lot of young athletes to hear, is that, you know, you were predominantly a slopper, and now you've got that power game as well.
Yeah, it never changes, you guys. Always trying to find ways to get better.
Sis, I've noticed, and literally, there's no better shortstop in the world than you today. You take your glove off all the time.
Yeah, that sucker's sweating in there.
Is that what it is?
Yes. There's no dirt to wipe it off, so I gotta let her breathe a little bit. Oh no!
Bubba Nichols,
no.
did she? She did! A 3-run homer! Bubba Nichols! It's a 3-0 lead for Team Ocasio. 246 feet of goodness off the bat of Bubba Nichols. Home run number 3.
And Bubba Nichols, I mean, just the definition of clutch. She knows that she's got runners in scoring position and just always is up for the challenge and just takes this ball deep. I mean, right off the bat, you know that that is out of here. But look at her hands, how she stays in her legs. Just a beautiful piece of hitting.
Well, her wonderful offensive campaign continues. 3 homers, 14 runs batted in for Bubba Nichols. No doubt about it, homer for Bubba. Bubba's college teammate, Delaney Wiz, is the next batter.
Yep.
Well, sis, you've seen a lot of that from Bubba Nichols. You played against her in college and now in the pro game for a bunch of years. She's really good.
Fun fact, I played 10U with Bubba.
Oh!
Yes, and she was indeed amazing back then. And now look at her. I'm really proud of her as her friend. So resilient, and the grace that she plays with, nobody can beat that. I'm so proud of her, and I love her so much. Even when she hits a home run against me, dang it. Yes! Yes!
Georgina Cork strikes out Delaney Wiz. Sis, thank you so much. You're wonderful to talk to. No one plays with more joy than Sis Bates. Her team's up against it, though. 3-0, Team Ocasio.
She's a queen.
The gold standard, the most fierce, beautiful competitor that I have ever seen.
She is the it girl.
When you say Natasha Watley, I literally get chills because she's been such a huge role model for not only me, but the sport, you know, and so many of these young athletes, so many of the athletes here now.
They say don't meet your heroes, but she's like the epitome of why you want to meet your heroes.
She could give us a run for her money still, right now, at shortstop.
Right on cue. I mean, she must have heard me talking about her being a pro hitter, and I'm over here just clapping my hands. That is a heck of a play right there.
She's like full circle to see someone you watched and you wanted to imitate out there, and then now she's calling our games. So I'm like, that's just crazy.
Just listening to her on broadcast, she's so humble, and we all know just what a superstar she is.
She's definitely an advocate for all of us to be here and to just be a part of our journey, and I think that's the coolest thing about Natasha.
I didn't know we were going to get that. That just
I didn't
blew
either.
me away. I can only imagine how you're feeling.
You guys set me up. I wasn't ready for that. That was really sweet.
It was all heartfelt and all true.
Yeah.
And one of the legends of our game, every possible level, Natasha Watley, it not only means a lot to the players, it means a lot to me, having you here with Athletes Unlimited here for Week 5.
I mean, it's just been incredible. I mean, I'm all fans of all of these athletes, and to be able to see a lot of them at a younger age, Sis talked about me being her coach, and Bubba, just seeing her at UCLA, and just how all of them have just grown up, and now they are the role models. You know, it just gives me a chill. So you guys totally set me up on that one. I wasn't ready for that.
Folks, that's one of the great tragedies of why there needed to be softball in 2012 and 2016 in Olympics, because the age of the players with Athletes Unlimited right now, they know you from 04, winning a gold medal. They know you from 08, winning a silver, losing the medal game against Japan. That's when you became their hero. And the fact that softball wasn't in the Olympics for a handful of years, but is coming back in 2028, means a ton.
Yeah, it's coming back, and, you know, just it's such a bittersweet. You know, I feel like our sport should be on the highest pedestal, and that all of these athletes should have that opportunity to, you know, at least try to be on an Olympic team and play for USA. And some of them are, but just those missed years were such a big missed opportunity, because I feel like we built so much momentum in 04 and 08 and just trying to get our game on the map, and then all of a sudden it was just taken away from us. And so, you know, kind of something that we can't control, but, you know, just to have this platform and have this arena of AU, it's awesome to see the best of the best compete.
And we're going to try and do this as many months as possible with Athletes Unlimited. You're going to be a part of the spring season AUSL. You signed on for that very early. Why was it important for you to jump aboard here with Athletes Unlimited?
It was so important. I mean, we have yet to figure out a sustainable pro league, and just watching Athletes Unlimited from afar the last couple of years, I mean, I'm glued to the TV every summer, and just to be able to have that traditional format and see these athletes continue to extend their playing careers, I just think it's really important. And so it was important for me to sign on and be a part of that and help out any way that I could.
Yeah, again, best of both worlds. It's going to be an AUSL spring season starting in 2025. More of the traditional model without keeping track of 10 points for a single, 20 for a double, what have you. But we're still going to have the Championship Cup, but it's only going to be 4 weeks, end of the summer next year. So 2 different formats with Athletes Unlimited, spring and summer. A lot to look forward to. Since we just heard all of these wonderful women talk about you being their role model, who was your role model growing up in Southern California?
My role model was Lisa Fernandez. I grew up in SoCal, and so I got to see her live and in person, and I couldn't even believe what I saw when I first saw her play for the first time in person, just the passion that she played and the precision, and just so competitive. And so I wanted to be Lisa Fernandez growing up.
And then you went to UCLA like Lisa Fernandez, and then you played on the national team with Lisa Fernandez.
I got to play with her. I mean, just a dream come true. Dream come true. It's always been a pinch me moment, like, wow, like, is this real life? Like, how am I playing with my hero? And just been an incredible, fun story.
Sis Bates, ball and 2 strikes. Got a runner on at first base, Morgan Zirkle, nobody out. Remember, 3 runs for Team Ocasio in the top of the 3rd inning, so they've got a good chance of winning 30 points for winning the 1st, 2nd, and the 3rd, but maybe not. Sis gets herself a base hit. Runners on at 1st and at 2nd, nobody out.
So Sis just set herself up perfectly. We just talked about what are the adjustments that she made, and in that scenario, more times than not, no outs. What do you think that she's going to do? You think she's going to bunt? You think she's going to run through the box, slap? She stands in and swings away, picks up a hit on the day, and I mean, this is just beautiful. Just being more comfortable with her power, being more comfortable of standing in the box, and just she's got such great hand-eye coordination, so her ability to trust herself is working out good for her.
Great opportunity for the retiring Haley McClenny, playing her final 3 games of professional softball. McClenny batting with runners on at 1st and at 2nd, nobody out. Well, if anyone knows Alicia Ocasio, it's Haley McClenny. They have played here against each other for 5 seasons as pros. They played against each other in the SEC when Haley was at Alabama and Alicia was at Florida. On the ground, Ocasio goes to 3rd. Not in time at 1st, but the lead out is recorded. 1 down. That was a smart AU play for Ocasio. Doesn't want to give up an earned run, so she gets the lead out.
Yeah, but Ocasio, I mean, grew up being a shortstop. I can watch her field all day long. I mean, just her reactions and her ability to get rid of the ball so quickly. I mean, that's called knowing exactly where you're going to go before the ball's hit to you, and execution next level.
Yeah, no one had to call and tell her to throw the 3rd. She just immediately knew this is what I'm doing. She planned it out in her head. This is going to be a tough out. Aubrey Leach lined out to the shortstop back in the first inning. Bates on at second. McClenny falls here at first. Changeup. 2-1. Ocasio began the day third on the leaderboard. Earned runs cost pitchers 10 points. This is an important moment for her. Two Florida Gators, 1 and 2. We'll go full. Humpback liner to the second baseman Wallace, and the throw is wide. She was kind of caught in between, didn't know if you could overhand sidearm or just toss it underhand, and everyone's safe. Bates is actually going to move up an extra 60 feet.
Looks like Haley McClenny on that dive back may have hurt her hand on the dive back, but you're right, Skyler Wallace just kind of like in an in-between position of where she was, kind of too close to throw overhand and kind of too far to throw underhand.
So an error on the throw by the second baseman Wallace allows Bates to move over to third. And now Charlize Palacios will bat. She's got enormous power. A home run here would tie the game at 3. Ocasio gets strike 1. Charlize, 3 homers, 10 runs batted in 12 games. If she continues the inning, her sister Sachelle Palacios will bat. There they are.
And even just more of a great story. They're back to back. Like I love it. Little sis, big sis.
They were broken up a week ago. Megan Faremo took Charlize Palacios before Sachelle Palacios, who was the captain, could nab her. There's a reason for that. Faremo and Charlize played together at UCLA, and clearly Faremo wanted a good catcher. Two balls and 2 strikes. One more out for Ocasio, and her team will have won the first, second, and third inning. Starting to get a bunch of full counts. This is the 5th full count that Ocasio has dealt with. We're now 12 batters into the game. Ball 4, and they're loaded for Sachelle Palacios. Walk is worth 10 points for Charlize Palacios. That is the first walk, no, it's the second walk of the inning. Remember, this inning began when Morgan Zirkle walked. All right, if Sachelle is looking for her moment, this could be it. Sachelle is still dreaming big dreams. Began the day 5th on the leaderboard out of 61 players. If she wants to have a massive weekend and finish in the top 1, 2, 3, 4, a hit right here could go a long way. A hit that goes over the fence could go a really long way.
Especially by her.
On the ground, that is a fair ball. And Taylor steps on the bag, and the side is retired. Sashel is retired by Ocasio. It is an inning win for Team Ocasio, plus 30 for everyone on their team. This is the final weekend of softball for one of the best to ever play the game of fast pitch. Haley McClenny has been there and won that at every level, was an All-American at Alabama, has played pro ball for a decade now. She's been with Team USA. She has been with Athletes Unlimited from the jump. And this is her final 3 games, today, tomorrow, and Sunday. And when Haley McClenny decides to retire, that means that everyone comes to pay homage. Her college coach for 4 great years in Tuscaloosa, Patrick Murphy, is in town watching Halo play. Coach, glad you're here. Haley McClenny, I'm assuming you just couldn't stay away, right?
Absolutely not. And Eric and Tasha, it's great to see you guys. There's no way that I wouldn't be here this weekend for Haley. Obviously, you guys know she's one of the best ever on the field, but off the field, she's even better.
Just talk about her a little bit. Just take us on the inside. The first day she came on Alabama campus, what was she like?
She was the hardest working young lady that we've ever had. And every year she got better and better and better. And the reason was she was never satisfied. She was never complacent. She just got better and better and better. And I think that's probably one of her biggest qualities is improvement every single year.
Yeah, what do you think her legacy will be when she leaves this game?
Pregame, I walked everywhere around the stadium because I love to do that at a stadium just to see everything. And I go over to the Athletes Unlimited merchandise tent. And the first thing the young lady says is, "Oh my God, I love Haley. She is so nice. She's so polite. She does everything we ask her to do." And, right then and there, it's like the proud coach moment. And her mom, her dad, her brothers are here. And I felt like a proud dad when that young lady told me that, because that's what you want to hear.
I remember very early on in Athletes Unlimited, Haley McClenny just personified leadership. Was she that way when you first got her? Or is that something that she's developed throughout the course of the years?
Well, early on, she was a little, she was very competitive, let's say. We had to teach her a couple things, but I mean, she was very coachable. And, one of the things that I loved about her was if she let off a game, and she usually did, and if she got out, she would sprint back to the dugout and she would be screaming, "I'm all over her, I'm all over her," whether she struck out or she popped up to the pitcher. And she would come into the dugout and say, "It's going to be our day, it's going to be our day." And, as the on-deck hitter, when she sees that and hears that, she's like, "Okay, I got her." It's not like if she struck out, she would be Debbie the Downer coming back to the dugout. She learned to do that, and she made a huge difference. Her senior year, I'm sure, Tasha, you had these numbers, but she walked 68 times and struck out 8 as the leadoff hitter. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think that's what's so impressive about her is her discipline at the plate. Like, although she's putting the ball in play a ton, getting a ton of hits, her hand-eye coordination and her discipline at the plate to take pitches, it's just incredible.
Yeah, and that's probably the number one thing for me, too, is hand-eye coordination. She would put the ball in play every single time. It was close, but also, obviously her walks, she frustrated pitchers because if it was half a ball off the plate, she would not swing.
Yeah. She's got an incredible eye. So this is your first time watching AU. You've never been to an AU game, right? This is your first time?
Yeah, the first time in Chicago, which I can't believe. And this is the house that Jenny Finch been, right?
What?
I know.
Welcome.
I know. That was bad of me. Montana loved it. She played in the shortened season in Wichita and absolutely loved it. We have Kayla Beaver in the other dugout. We have Caroline Hardy as a facilitator at third base for the Orange team, and obviously Haley out in center field. So it's about time I got up here.
So far, what's your take?
Oh, I love it. Love it. Great facility. I mean, I think one of the ushers told me that this is the first softball-only facility built for women to play softball in the country.
You were told correctly.
Which is pretty cool. We need more like this. We need more like this.
Just curious, one last question about Haley. She's from the Birmingham area. She's from Morris, Alabama. Did you have a ceiling on her? Did you think of the player she could be? Or what was your first thought of her when you first scouted her and thought that she might be a good fit for you?
Oh, number one was she was an incredible athlete. And, I went to watch her play in high school basketball because she had told us she wanted to play point guard for Pat Summitt. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to let Pat Summitt take Haley out from underneath us, you know. So I went to a basketball game, and it took about a half before she realized I was there. And a ball came into the crowd, and it was a out-of-bounds play, and I handed the ball to the referee, and the referee handed it to Haley, and she turned around. She's like, oh, my God, there's Murphy.
That's great. That's great. Coach, thank you so much. You've been great talking to, and keep on keeping on down in Tuscaloosa.
Thanks a lot, you guys.
The great Patrick Murphy. We'll be back with more AU softball in a moment. So far, so good for Team Ocasio. They won the first 3 innings by putting 3 runs on the board in the 3rd inning. It's the bottom of the 4th. Team Cork is batting. Be sure to check out the brand new AU Pro Athletes Marketplace. This hub is for businesses and fans to engage with AU athletes directly on a variety of individual NIL activities. Go to auprosports.com/marketplace to see how you can support your favorite athletes today. With Natasha Watley and Savannah Collins, I'm Eric Collins. This is Sam Fisher batting against Alicia Ocasio. It'll be Fisher, Megan Wiggins, and Allie Skaggs. Ocasio was threatened an inning ago, no doubt about it. Bases were loaded, but no one scored. So she's got 3 shutout innings. That's 9 outs. For a pitcher, every out is worth a +4. Every earned run allowed is a -10. So Ocasio is +36 so far in her ball game. Plus winning the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. That's another 30. She's a +66 combined on her day.
So far, so good. She's doing a good job. And impressed with your math, too.
Fisher hit into a double play back in the 2nd inning. Went around the horn, 5-4-3. Slugged into left field. Can't hit it any harder. Fisher is aboard. Making the 3rd consecutive inning that the leadoff batter has reached for Team Cork. Let's check in with Savannah.
No stranger to being a captain is Alicia Ocasio. I got to talk to her a little bit about, hey, how does it feel stepping back into that role this season? She said, man, this draft is a mind game, and I haven't forgotten about that. In building this team, she talks about how you just really have to get in other people's head. But for her, defenders, players who are locked down on defense and energy was huge for her. She just wanted to go out with a team this season that was going to have great camaraderie and comfortability. She filled me in a little bit on their last practice yesterday. She said, I would describe this team as loose. She said people were taking reps at positions they haven't played in years. For example, Gwen Svekis and Jordan Roberts were out in the outfield. Megan Faremo was over there taking balls on 3rd. She said, you know, we wanted to have fun. It's our last time out here on a practice field together, and they wanted to make it a fun one. So that's how she described this team, as loose, and it's important to her to keep that going through this game and the next 2 this week.
Thank you, Savannah. Well, it's not that fun right now for Ocasio, as she has allowed back-to-back singles to begin our 4th inning. You got Fisher on at 2nd, Megan Wiggins on at 1st, and Allie Skaggs is the batter. Thinking maybe she would bunt, but no, didn't indicate that she's thinking about that. Takes ball 1.
Yeah, just going back to Ocasio being captain, it's so fun to see kind of the flair that the captains bring when they are called upon to be a captain. And just knowing Ocasio's personality, she's silly, she's goofy, she likes to have fun. So I was kind of sneaking on her Instagram, and all of them were all pitching on, you know, she was pitching lefty on the mound, and everybody was taking a shot to see who can throw a strike, and just keeping it fun. So I love that she's bringing her little flair and fun and keeping it loose for her team.
Ocasio in years past has been a captain on 6 other occasions. As a captain, she has an even .500 record, 9 wins, 9 losses. Changeup, hit in the air. Will it be deep enough to advance Fisher to 3rd? Catch is made. Here comes the throw to 3rd. And safe at 3rd. Wiggins takes an extra base as well. That is some aggressive base running by Sam Fisher, understanding the importance of 60 feet.
Yeah, take a look at Pion Castelli, and That is a complete laser, just based on actually where she was positioned. She was kind of deep in right field, and that's a spot-on throw and almost gets Sam Fisher.
So now a whole bunch of different ways that Fisher can score from third. You got Morgan Zirkle at the plate who can really handle the bat. The infield's going to be in all the way around. Zirkle walked an inning ago. Ocasio clearly didn't like that ball. She wants to swap out a new one. Team Cork in these situations, runners in scoring position. So far today, 0 for 4. Oh, got her with the pitch. That's going to be a +8 for Zirkle, and the bases are loaded for the second consecutive inning.
Yeah, it looks like Ocasio saying that she didn't even attempt to get out the way. And that if she wasn't over the plate, that might have been a legit pitch.
And she's given the old chicken wing symbol.
Or almost like she leaned into it a little bit. So yeah, I would fight that too. Because you got to make more of an attempt to get out of the way, but it's almost like she leaned out the way and then kind of
she did lean back and then lean forward.
Yeah. Have to make an attempt to get out of the way.
Well, I think the window to challenge has closed. Nope, we're going to challenge.
Team Ocasio is challenging whether or not the batter is entitled to first base on that hit by pitch. Play is now under review.
All right, well, one thing we do know is captain's challenges have not been warmly received this year. We've had 22 challenges and only 3 have been successful.
I feel like Ocasio has a good case on this one. Zirkle doesn't really attempt, like I said, to get out the way, and had she scooted it back or rotated more towards the catcher, maybe I would give that to her.
Well, if it stands, here we go.
After further review, the call on the field has been changed. The batter is not entitled to first base. The count is now 2 balls and 1 strike. This is Team Ocasio's first challenge.
Wow, okay, so Alicia Ocasio.
Hey.
Score 1 for the captain.
That's huge right there to challenge that. I mean, that's a big moment right there. But I'm with the Ocasio on that one.
So the count is 2-1. Georgina Cork, the other captain, has had her say, wondering why that call was changed.
Ready to kick some dirt on the umpire's toes.
Well, Zirkle had taken off her arm guard and has to put it back on. Okay, so 1 out, 2 balls and a strike is the count. You got Fisher at third, and you got Wiggins at second. Team Ocasio leads 3-0, but I'm assuming you're going to play the infield in and play at the plate if Fisher comes down. You don't want to lose the inning. Three and 1.
Yeah, and if I'm the middles, I'm going to kind of play in kind of halfway, not too shallow, knowing that Sam Fisher, she's not that fast, doesn't have a lot of speed.
Well, it's better for Zirkle. She would have got a +8 for getting hit with a pitch. She gets a +10 for working her way onto the walk. So everyone's happy. Kind of. Can't imagine Alicia Ocasio is too happy.
Yeah, I was like, maybe not.
That is the 3rd walk allowed by Ocasio. And now she's got one tough customer in Sis Bates. Sis, right to third! And just back with a dive is Fisher. Wow, was that close. Sister hit it to the wrong spot.
What a reaction by Delaney Wiz. I mean, just this was a rocket hit off of Sis Bates' bat, but it's not necessarily the catch, it's the reaction to go and tag Sam Fisher, and it almost looked like she had her.
And Delaney Wiz immediately is asking for a challenge. They just had a successful challenge, what, 90 seconds ago? Maybe Alicia Ocasio wants to go 2 for 2. We play on. So a tough luck out for Sis Bates. That was 67 miles per hour off the bat. Uh-oh. Haley McClenny, 0 for 2. On the ground, it's going to be a tough play for Ortez. She makes it look routine. Side is retired. Great job by Ocasio. Walking on that tightrope, she doesn't fall. Everything coming up roses for Team Ocasio through the first 4 innings. They lead 3-0. Neither side was able to score in the 4th inning. That means that this 5th inning will be worth 20 points for whichever side can outscore the other. Alicia Ocasio, man, she has left the bases loaded each of the last 2 innings. That means she's recorded 12 outs, +4 for every out. She's a +48, and she's not given up an earned run, so she stays at +48. Her team won the first 3 innings. That's a +30, so she's got 78 points today as she tries to make a surge up the leaderboard. She began the day 3rd behind Amanda Lorenz and that woman right there, Georgina Korick. Nadia Taylor singled, starting that 3-run rally back in the 3rd inning. Nadia clubs it foul. Had a great conversation with Patrick Murphy an inning ago. Alabama head coach talking about Haley McClenny and telling the story that Haley wanted to play college basketball in Tennessee as a Lady Vol. There's Patrick Murphy. Well, Nadia Taylor did live out that dream of playing college basketball. Nadia Taylor played a season for Gail Gestencourse and the Texas Longhorns. 2-sport player at Texas during her time in Austin.
Just a solid athlete, Nadia Taylor, and I think she's just continued to get better. I mean, as a seasoned vet, she's been a mainstay here at AU.
That is strikeout number 4 for Korick, but her first strikeout since the 2nd inning. We are going to have an interesting dynamic all weekend long because 3 of the 4 captains, Georgina Korick, Lexi Kilfoyle, and Alicia Ocasio, all are pitchers, and they all control who throws during the course of the game, and they all need points. So every pitcher is going to be saying to themselves, I need the points, get the outs. How much can I actually pitch in a 3-game window?
That's what's so fascinating. They all can control their own destiny, and they can rack up the points, keep themselves in, and that's where it gets hard. It's you hope that they're not overextending themselves, but these are pros. They know how to handle it, and if I'm them, I want the ball too. I'd want to go the extra distance and rack up those points as much as I could.
Aaliyah Andrews singled and scored on the homer by Nichols back in the 3rd inning. Did you feel as if your life as a hitter was different? You played in an era, particularly early in your career, when the one starter would be the dominant starter, and not only would pitch an entire game, but sometimes pitch an entire series over the course of a weekend. Did you enjoy that? The fact that you, sometimes tough customers, Jenny Finch, but you'd at least see her 3 times or 4 times throughout the course of a game, and maybe you get an advantage at one point.
Absolutely loved it, because it takes away the mystery. Once you face a pitcher multiple times, you start to get a little bit more comfortable in the batter's box. You have a feel of their speed, you have a feel of their windup, you have a feel of their break. And so I loved facing pitchers multiple times, and the pitchers that were difficult were the ones that made adjustments from each time that you faced them. And so, you know, if they made an adjustment throughout the weekend, if you're facing them multiple times, but you know, you're facing legit pitchers who are competitors, and everybody's trying to make those adjustments. But absolutely, I loved it as a hitter, because I wanted to try to level up from the last time that I faced them.
That's one of the things that I've noticed that the captains have done beautifully in the years that we've had Athletes Unlimited, is managing pitching staffs and managing games. It is rare to see pitchers go 3 times through the order, but that's what Georgina Cork's going to try and do right now. She's facing Skyler Wallace for the 3rd time as she tries to rack up some points, and this is the 5th and final weekend of championship season play. Skyler Wallace singled and scored a run in the 3rd. Really, the only blip on the radar for Cork was that 3rd inning. In the first 2 innings, she had just 1 base runner allowed. It was a walk to Gwen Svekis. Since the home run by Bubba Nichols in the 3rd inning, she has retired 6 in a row. That 3rd inning, she wants to take a redo. Drive deep to right field. Gone, a homer. Skyler Wallace, her 3rd of the year. What a rookie Skyler Wallace is.
And I think we can officially stop calling Skyler Wallace a rookie at this point. I mean, she is a complete pro, and we've seen her do it over and over again. Her at-bats are so next level, so professional. I mean, this pitch right here, down and in, and she just completely crushes it. Just effortless power that she has.
Skyler Wallace has been a leadoff batter through the majority of the season. She has now got 3 home runs to be amongst the leaders here at the AU this season. What a special, special talent. You're going to list it as a 235-foot homer on a 2-2 pitch for Skyler Wallace. And that's going to help her cause. She began today 6th on the leaderboard. She's now 2 for 3, 2 runs scored and a homer. Still a lot of game remaining, but she's got to be thinking possible MVP points.
But now I go back to our conversation about Cork. It's, you know, at this point, do you take yourself out? Do you stay in? That's where it's hard as a captain, especially in this position, but may have to start to think about taking herself out.
Off the end of the bat, Ortez bounces it to Fisher. Beautiful scoop by Allie Skaggs. But damage done for Team Ocasio.
And the rookie no longer. Skyler Wallace absolutely crushes it. Home run, Skyler Wallace.
Team Ocasio with a 4-run stiff arm on Team Cork. If they can hold Team Cork down here at the bottom of the 5th inning, they will have won the 4th and the 5th inning as well. This is a 20-point inning. Alicia Ocasio, the captain, began the day 3rd out of 61 players on the leaderboard. She has taken herself out of the game. She goes 4 shutout innings, but she left the bases loaded in both the 3rd and the 4th, and maybe she's looking for a more of a sure thing. She brings in the fireballer, former UCLA Bruin Megan Farimo.
Just good decision. I mean, they complement each other so well. Alicia Ocasio mixes the zone, mixes speeds a lot, but Faremo, absolute fire, heat. I like it, the closer in the situation, and so I like the tag team here.
So Faremo will face Leach and then the Palacio sisters, Charlize and Sachelle. Maybe the story of the game has been the fact that Team Cork has had a bunch of traffic, but they've only been able to scratch the surface, not being able to penetrate. They have 7 runners left on base. They left the bases loaded in the 3rd and the 4th. They left 1 on in the 2nd. So many, many opportunities to do damage, and they have yet to be successful. Compare that to Team Ocasio, just 1 runner left on base. That's what home runs will do for you. 3-run home run by Bubba Nichols and a solo home run by Skyler Wallace. Oh, 2 to Leach. Art and Tasha, paint the picture for me. As a small ball player, Aubrey Leach, is it easier to do her small ball thing off of Faremo, big, strong right-hander, or Ocasio, more crafty?
Off of a Faremo. Faremo has
That's a fair ball. All the way to the corner. Leach can really run. She's on her way to 3rd. And she'll make it standing. Great start to the bottom of the 5th for Team Cork.
Right on cue. I mean, she swings away here, but facing someone like Faremo who's got speed, it's all about timing. And so it's a little bit easier when you know it's just about getting my barrel there and making sure that I can time up to it and square to it. And Aubrey Leach is doing a good job of standing in. But when you're facing a pitcher that has more off speed, it's a little bit trickier with moving through the box and slapping. It's kind of that dizzy feeling. And so standing in sometimes off of a pitcher like Ocasio is a little bit easier.
Well, we got something brewing right here. We've got 2 Bruins against each other. Faremo and Charlize Palacios. Runner on at 3rd, nobody out. We're going to get a chance to talk to the captain of Team Ocasio. The former champion, Alicia Ocasio, is going to join us for a chair chat. Hey, Alicia, how you doing?
Good. I'm doing great. That was a good play on words, by the way.
We got something brewing here.
Yeah, that was a good one.
What was the decision to take yourself out after 4 innings? You got a shutout going.
Yeah, I mean, I had a shutout, but honestly, they started hitting me a little bit harder. And when I have a crew like Megan and Odyssey and Kayla on the bench, I think it was the right decision to kind of switch the momentum a little bit so we can keep that lead.
Yeah, what's working well today? You look good out there.
I was just trying to hit spots and stick with the plan. Me and Gwen talked before this game about our game plan with each batter, and I think we did a really good job at sticking to that. Gwen's a great pitch caller, and I mean, I think it's reflected in the score, but I give a lot of credit to her because she's setting me up for success.
Always looks like you have such a slow heartbeat when you're in the circle. You got a bunch of traffic, the bases loaded in the 3rd and the 4th. You don't show any emotion, and you just always continue to execute. Is that something that has always been with you or something you developed over the years?
I think from a young age, my dad's always said, and he played poker, he still plays poker, but he's always said poker face, keep a poker face, and that's what I think I've embodied throughout my career. And also, I want to be able to keep my team calm. So if I am all sporadic and high anxiety, I feel like it's going to rub off on the team. But if I'm calm, cool, and collected, then I think the team will feel that energy.
This may be deep enough to score the run. Nichols has got a good arm. Here comes Leach. Here comes the throw. And Leach scores the first run of the game for Team Cork. And this inning is tied. Team Ocasio still leads 4-1.
Yeah, no, Ocasio, definitely teach us your ways. I mean, you are so calm, cool, collected, so love watching you throw. But talk about being captain this weekend and just kind of your strategy on your team picks.
It has definitely been a while. I think the last time I was captain was like 2 years ago. So I kind of forgot how it feels to be captain, honestly. But Courtney's been great. Courtney Ogle, my facilitator, and I have my crew that I kind of consult on my team, but it's been a really fun week. I think we've had great practices. Yesterday we had Megan Faremo playing 3rd base and right field, Gwen Svekis, who's in center, along with Jordan in left. Like, we just had a ball this week, and I think we're also having a ball today, and I hope that continues to carry it throughout the weekend.
And one last one. You've been one of the best all-around players in the world over the last decade. Do you see yourself hitting at some point this weekend?
I didn't anticipate hitting. I feel like if we can't win games and I can't do my job in the circle, then the cards weren't written that way anyways. I might get a few at-bats here and there, but I'm really leaning on my big hitters and Joe Rowe and Nadia and Gwen to kind of hold that torch and get us some hits this weekend.
Alicia, thank you so much. Great champion back in 2021. Wish you the best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Alicia.
Appreciate it.
Well, this fifth inning has been tied on the sacrifice fly off the bat of Charlize Palacios. Little number, Sachelle Palacios for Ramo. Throws her out at first. There are now 2 outs. Space is clear.
Just so mature of Alicia Ocasio, just to know, hey, I'm going to use my personnel, because I'm sitting here, I'm her. I am putting myself in the batter's box. I'm putting myself in center. I'm putting myself in right. I want to do all the things, and so just so mature of her to say, hey, I got the personnel. I'm going to trust them.
Yeah, for those who don't know, as a hitter, Ocasio has a lifetime batting average of 258. I'll take that. In 49 games played, 43 starts. She's got 31 hits and 120 bats, including 3 triples, a couple of homers. She can do some damage. But she's choosing to trust her teammates. I like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
1 ball and 1 strike. Sam Fisher singled her last time up. For Ramos, 1-2. Sam Fisher has played everywhere. She's part of Team USA, the national team. She's played in National Pro Fast Pitch. She's been an inaugural member of Athletes Unlimited. I would have a hard time thinking, it would take me a long time to find someone who loves softball more than Sam Fisher.
Yeah, I would agree. And just knowing her story, and I love talking to her, and when she talks about, where she came from playing at LMU, a mid-major, just all of the representation she does for other mid-major athletes to be able to play at a higher level. She's played at the top. She's played on the Team USA. She's playing here. She's the best of the best, and she's been a lot of fun to watch throughout the years.
Well, she's clearly got elite talent, always has. But add that in with a joy and love for the game, and that's what you get, is you get someone who's been top shelf for more than a decade as a professional. Pretty good start, though. How about that senior year? Hit almost 500 at Loyola Marymount.
Just a straight stud. And talk about goofy. I mean, she's one of the goofiest, funniest. If you follow her on social media, she's always a hoot. She's got something funny. She's always making fun of herself, and so lighthearted, and doesn't take herself too seriously.
Well, the way the game goes is she's bridged generations. She's got us from there to here. I remember the first time I watched her play, it was on a dusty field in Akron, Ohio. She was teammates with Lisa Norris and Sarah Pauli and Taylor Schlopey and Kelly Montalvo, all names of the past. But now Sam Fisher has made it to this point, and she's playing with Skyler Wallace, and she's playing with Kaylee Harding and Mackenzie Clark and the next generation of great players. Pretty cool bridge. Tenth pitch of the at-bat coming from Faremo. Inside out swing. We'll do it again. And one last thing about Sam Fisher. She hasn't been on a lot of charter flights. She's been here because she's wanted to be here and because people have wanted her around. It has been a big time commitment that she has made and excelled at over the years. Two. What an at bat. Good golly. 3-2. There's nothing that Framo's going to sneak past Fisher right now. Into center field. Andrews makes the play, but a tip of the cap to Sam Fisher for that at bat. Man, good stuff. So the inning is tied. The sixth will be worth 30 points when we return. Let's take a look at the play of the game presented by Dick's Sporting Goods.
Bubba Nichols, just so clutch. I mean, anytime there are runners in scoring position, Bubba Nichols is definitely someone that you can count on, you can rely on. She has proven over time that she just gets it done.
And Bubba Nichols will lead things off here in our sixth inning, an inning that'll be worth 30 points for whichever side can outscore the other. And for the first time today, Team Cork will not have their captain, Georgina Cork, in the circle. Pitching change, bringing in PSG. Peyton St. George.
I like the nickname. Peyton St. George, I mean, just another great compliment, you know, with both Cork and Ocasio. Just like I said earlier, they're very similar in repertoire. They can go to their off-speed often, but Peyton St. George, she's got that high velo. She goes up in the zone. She's got that rise, that change, curve. So just a great compliment to Cork, who's more off-speed.
We've actually got a package deal coming into the game. It's not just a new pitcher, it's a whole new battery. We're going to swap out Palacios's. Sachel Palacios had been behind the plate catching Georgina Cork. Now this is the younger Palacios, Charlize, catching St. George. Smothered by Sis Bates, intentionally throws it on the ground, and it's out number one. I saw her practicing that before the game. She purposely throws a one-hopper to first.
And just Sis Bates, I mean, just putting on a clinic here, stopping this ball, a hard hit ball, but just letting the turf play in her favor and just using the ground and doing the long hop. That's a big out right there.
Nothing is not rehearsed when you get an elite athlete like Sis Bates. She was practicing every game. She practices throwing the ball on a bounce to first base, and that's when it came in handy. Great defensive play, and remember, there are defensive MVP votes that are handed out. The defensive player of the game is a +20. That's something that Sis Bates is always eligible for. We'll keep an eye on that. Here's Delaney Wiz. She's probably the happiest person here in Rosemont that Cork's out of the game. Struck out twice against Georgina. Puts this one into play, but that's going to die in the glove of Haley McClenny. So efficient is Peyton St. George. 5 pitches, 2 outs. I know on draft day, Peyton St. George was a big get for Georgina Cork. Georgina saying flattering things about PSG.
I liked what she said of teams not using her efficiently, and she wanted to be able to use her a little bit more efficiently, and I love her usage here, using her more as a closer here. Great compliment to her.
3-0 to Gwen Svekis. Like Gwen Svekis, Peyton St. George has decided that this will be her final go-around as a professional. Gwen's always been a gamer. One of the first people to commit to Athletes Unlimited. She was hand in hand with our first champion, Kat Osterman, back in 2020. Kat wouldn't go anywhere without Gwen. She had her on every single team that she had. She'd be her first draft pick. She loved her so much. That's in foul territory. Plenty of time for Sis Bates to get under it, and the side is retired. Peyton St. George puts a goose egg on the board. starting our 5th and final week of Athletes Unlimited Softball Championship season. We will crown a champion at the end of our 2nd game on Sunday. So far, so good for Team Ocasio here in our lid lifter. They lead Team Cork 4-1. The big blow in this game back in the 3rd inning, a 3-run home run by Bubba Nichols. Our leaderboard looks like this. Amanda Lorenz, she is in the #1 spot with a bullet, has a decent working margin beginning the weekend. Alicia Ocasio has added to her point total, came in at the beginning of this series 3rd. She's leapfrogged Georgina Cork to move into the #2 spot. But this is an important inning. This inning is worth 30 points. Megan Wiggins fouls it back to the screen. She's down in the count 0-2. Wiggins, Skaggs, and Zirkle scheduled to bat against Megan Faremo. If just one Team Cork player can score, it's going to be a plus 30 for everyone on their side. On the ground, 2-hopper. Wallace throws out Wiggins.
Wallace just making a good play over there, but one thing to remember, Wallace is a shortstop, and obviously, yes, most middle infielders are interchangeable, but I always used to hate playing second base being a shortstop because it feels like it's so small and condensed over at second base, and so for her, just kind of keeping an eye on her adjustments over there and just doing a good job on her reads, but it's just a different read. You're on the different side, especially on lefties, you're behind them, and so.
I've got to readjust my thinking. For years, I've had this theory that great defenders never take the glove off their hand. It's like their second kind of thing. But I'm looking out there. Nisa Urtez at shortstop just had her glove off. Skyler Wallace did. We showed you early in the game. Sis Bates took her glove off.
But it's playing on the turf, and so the turf is, it's hard because you're used to like putting your hand in dirt, and that will last you through an inning, at least, so you're not taking your glove off, but you have nowhere to kind of reset here, so you got to keep taking it off and get that sweat off.
Once you finally got a glove broken into where you wanted it, how long would a glove last you?
I would use it for at least a good year, maybe a year and a half. Once a year and a half, then I would probably try to switch it up a little bit, because you don't want it too broken in. So I would always like my gloves a little bit firm, just making sure that the web is not soft. And so I like a nice, firm, hard leather. And so once it starts to wear in a little bit, it's time to change it up.
Allie Skaggs swings at a pitch eye level, and that is out #2. Get closer to the action with your free Unlimited Club membership. Vote on game MVPs. Compete in the AU Fantasy League for exclusive prizes and more. Sign up now at auprosoftball.com. You don't see that very often, folks, here in Chicago.
House divided?
Yeah, not there. Unity. Cubs and White Sox fans, north and south. Well, we are west of the city, so I guess that's where north and south meet, right? Makes sense to me. We're in Rosemont. Every game now in 5 years of Athletes Unlimited Softball's championship season, with the exception of, I think, what would it be, 2 games? Have been done in Greenville, North Carolina. Every game has been played here at this ballpark. It's been a great home.
And one of my favorite venues to play in as a pro, had the opportunity to play here, just the turf. The turf is awesome as an infielder. It's got true hops, and also as a slap hitter, I loved being able to use the ground here and try to get some height on the ball here. Just a great and beautiful stadium, and obviously sometimes we have planes going over, but other than that, I love it here.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Zirkle. It's going to be a quick inning for Faremo. Wallace underhand flip side, retired. So 2 ground ball outs and a strikeout. We go to the 7th inning. It's a 3-run lead for Team Ocasio. Athletes Unlimited Pro Softball is sponsored by Nike. Final weekend here with Athletes Unlimited Softball championship season, and it has been a game from Central Casting. Low scoring, good defense, good pitching. It's been fun softball to watch on a Friday evening, and we've got another one coming your way, folks. We've got another game featuring the top player on the leaderboard, Amanda Lorenz. Team Lorenz going to take on Team Kilfoyle. But we still have a 7th inning to play. Team Ocasio leads by 3, and a new pitcher comes in. Right-handed rookie from Clemson, Valerie Cagle.
Valerie Cagle, and I love this idea from Korg just to be able to use her whole entire staff. Again, another look. Cagle's more north and south. She'll mix in a changeup as well, but her go-to is that off-speed as well.
Smokes! Look at Sis Bates! Safe at first is Bianca Stelly. Oh my goodness. Sis Bates covers so much ground there at shortstop.
Sis Bates, I mean, just a little human highlight reel. I mean, just her range on this, just to stop this ball, and just the softball IQ, to be able to use the ground. It's almost like she had her.
Oh my goodness, that was a double play ball. Cagle knocks it down, and they just get one out at first. Jordan Roberts is retired. If Cagle could have let that ball go through, that was a Sis Bates double play, 6-3.
I was just going to say that. This ball goes through. That's an easy shortstop on assisted play, and she could have potentially got the double play on that, too. It was hit hard enough.
Here's Nadia Taylor, the great veteran. Nadia singled to start that 3-run 3rd inning. She also struck out. That was in the 5th inning. Both of her bats coming against Georgina Korek. Good pitch. Cagle bringing it 69 miles per hour. That'll make it into center field. Here comes Bianca Stelly. McClellan's throw, not in time. It gets away, and Nadia will take an extra base. 2nd hit of the ball game for Nadia Taylor. It's now a 5-1 lead for Team Ocasio.
Just take a look at Haley McClenning. She's playing a little deep on this play, but I still think her charge to the ball and the throw, I still think that the throw, the timing of it, maybe a little bit late, but if it was on target, it would have been a bang, bang play.
So Nadia Taylor now with 2 base hits. She's going to be in the running for some MVP consideration. We give out 3 MVPs. MVP 1 is plus 60. MVP 2 is plus 40. MVP 3 is plus 20. Nadia is definitely in contention. 2nd time today that Josie Muffley will come on and run for Nadia. They scored that a single for Taylor. She moved to 2nd on the throw home. Muffley on at 2nd, 1 out, Aaliyah Andrews. Cagle, the rookie from Clemson. She was a fantastic 2-way player, playing for Coach Rittman. She's got a lot in common with the pitcher she replaced, Peyton St. George. Peyton St. George early, the first commit to Duke when they started the program. Cagle was a massive get when she committed to Coach Rittman in Clemson.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of Clemson, I think of Cagle, and same with St. George as well. And just for them to be able to make those decisions, to go to start a new program, it just speaks volumes about them. I mean, the unknown for me is what's so scary for a college athlete to go to a program that's just starting, but for them to be able to start a new tradition, start a new culture, start a new program, they're the faces of them.
Cagle is not only the all-time leader in virtually every pitching category you can imagine at Clemson, but hitting-wise as well.
Yeah.
Well, this is trouble time for Team Korg. They have not won an inning today. And if you don't win an inning and you don't win the game and you don't get any stat points, it is just a massive wasted opportunity. And it would really hurt Georgina Korek, who came in today 2nd out of 61 players on the leaderboard. Now she's going to get some points for pitching and getting outs. She's also going to lose points for giving up earned runs. This stands to be a great point day for Alicia Ocasio. Fisher looks the runner back, has plenty of arm to get Andrews out at first. Leaderboard, upper left-hand portion of your screen. Amanda Lorenz, #1 with a bullet. Last weekend couldn't have gone any better. I guess it could have. Her team won 20 of the 21 innings. I guess they could have won 21 of the 21. Man, she could put together a roster, and man, could she hit. I don't know what's more impressive, the decision she makes on draft day or the decision she makes in the batter's box.
Can't go wrong either way. I mean, it's been impressive, the teams that she's been able to put together and the culture that she's been able to build in such a short time, week to week.
Just saw her getting ready to play. Locked in. Game face on.
And they only gave up 1 run last weekend. I mean, just impressive.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay. All right, Amanda, we see you.
It's going to be an interesting situation. The other 3 captains draw pitchers, and they all selected pitchers in the first round. So before Amanda got a chance to draft the pitcher, 6 pitches were already off the board. We'll see how she can handle it. All right, bottom of the 7th, last opportunity for Team Cork when we return.
She's using her change in right now. That's working. She's using that change.
Yeah.
What does her curve look like?
Okay, the curve, it wasn't bad. I could tell it was a strike. I just don't feel like it's a good pitch to hit. Seeing what she did to you too, I was like, I feel like I learned from what she did with your at bat.
Why did Bubba hit that home run? I was like this. No!
Sis Bates, very animated, talking about her good buddy, Bubba Nichols, then the home run back in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, I mean, just Bubba Nichols just going to school and just studying Georgina Corrick and just the communication. I think that that's the biggest thing to take away is of, hey, I went to school on your at-bat, and that's how I was successful. And I think a lot of young athletes need to hear that. It's, you know, trying to continue to watch the hitter in front of you and see what the pitcher is doing to them and makes you more prepared once you get up to bat.
All right, Team Cork can lose this game but still have a great inning. They're down 5-1. Team Ocasio did score 1 run in the top of the 7th inning. If Team Cork can put 2 runs on the board, that means that they would win all the innings since the 3rd, and that would salvage the day. It'd be a +40. They would have won the 4th, 5th, 6th, and now the 7th inning. So that's the number that they should be looking for. 2. Score 2 runs, and you get 40 points. Not quite the 50 of winning a game, but 40 is not too shabby. It's not going to be easy. Megan Faremo still in the circle. Sis Bates, then the top of the order, Haley McClenny and Aubrey Leach. 3 left-handed batters against Faremo. Sis is 1 for 2. Probably should be 2 for 2. She smoked the ball. 67 miles per hour off the bat back in the 4th inning, but it was caught by the 3rd baseman, Delaney Wiz.
She talked about how she's been working on hitting away a little bit more, but her first 2 pitches she runs through the box. But if you take a look at the deep, they're playing her deep, and that would be an opportunity to go to that slap.
She better try someone else. Strikes it well, but right to Delaney Wiz. 1 down. Megan Faremo gave up a triple to Aubrey Leach. First batter she faced. Since then, she's retired 7 in a row. I'm going to say that this has been a masterclass put on by Alicia Ocasio with the decisions that she's made to take herself out, to bring in Faremo. The lineup that she put together has been effective. There haven't been a lot of runners left on base. When you score 5 runs and only leave 2 runners on base, that is using the most out of what you get. 1 ball and 1 strike to McClenny. Haley is the 9th batter to face Faremo. Two and two. Another 2-2. Great eye by McClenny.
I mean, that 2-2 pitch, that 1-2 pitch, I don't know how you're not swinging with 2 strikes. If I'm swinging in that. You know, we talked about McClenny's eye, just her ability to see the ball so deep, so disciplined at the plate.
The 11th walk in now 13 games for Haley McClenny. So a runner aboard. And Aubrey Leach will bat for the 2nd time against Faremo. Leach jumped on Faremo back in the 5th inning, hit a bullet down the first base line, and legged out a triple. She scored the only run of the game for Team Cork. And Charlize Palacios hit a sacrifice fly to left. Two and 0. Leaderboard, upper left-hand portion of your screen. Amanda Lorenz, #1, but she's going to get some company. Alicia Ocasio, if this game stays the same, she's going to get a big jump up that leaderboard. On the ground, Urtez to second for 1, and the relay to first not in time. Leach legs it out and keeps the game alive. 6-4 on the fielder's choice. And now Charlize Palacios is the last hope for Team Cork. This is a 40-point inning. If Faremo can get out of this inning with less than 2 runs allowed, it is going to be a clean sweep for Team Ocasio. They'll have won every inning and the game. That is plus 120 in win points. 70 for winning every inning, and then 50 for winning the game. That's a huge bump. One ball and 1 strike to Charlize Palacios. That one is smothered by the first baseman, Josie Muffley, and the ball game is over. What a way to start the week for Team Ocasio. They sweep their way through their game against Team Cork. They win 5-1, winning every single inning.
And I think it goes to the decisions that Ocasio made. We talked about her as a captain, the maturity to take herself out late in the game, not putting herself in the lineup. Did a great job.
Well, we'll be back at the bottom of the hour for the 2nd game of our weekend opening doubleheader. It'll be Team Lorenz taking on Team Kilfoyle. Our final score is 5-1. It's a winner for Team Ocasio. Athletes Unlimited continues. Bottom of the hour, Team Lorenz facing Team Kilfoyle. For Natasha Watley, Savannah Collins, I'm Eric Collins saying goodbye for now from Rosemont.